Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Hutch here, and we're on Module 11, Lesson 4 on triangles. This one's going to be a little bit different. We're definitely doing this solo so that you can pause and do what you got to do to make this work out right. This is something we haven't done before. So here we go. This lesson's all a mix of review and some new things. So let's go ahead and jump right into it here. So I'm going to start with the highlighter. Remember that a triangle has three sides, three angles, but the big one that I'm going to highlight in a different color is when you add up all the measures of the interior angles, they equal 180 degrees. So if we have three different angle measurements in a triangle and you see that they don't add up to 180 degrees, then that is not a possible triangle. Okay. All right. Now, remember that triangles can be classified, and classified just means sort of named. Okay. So maybe we should just write that here. By the angle measures or by the sides. So really a triangle has two names. We know if we're describing its angle measurements, it could be an acute triangle. And we just remember that by like, oh, a cute little triangle pinching the cheeks of the baby, because they're smaller than 90 degrees. So this is acute. Then we have obtuse, would be something like this. And remember, obtuse is like obese, like larger than 90 degrees. And then a right triangle is a perfect corner, the best drawing you can. We can put that little mark there to know that's 90 degrees. So those are our three based on angle measure. Remember that the acute triangle has three acute angles. Obtuse, as long as it just has one obtuse, it's obtuse. As long as you see 190 degree, it's a right triangle. Okay, oops, sorry. All right, now let's go based on the sides. These ones people have a harder time remembering, so let's go with some tricks. So a scalene, you see the word scale there. We all weigh different on a scale. I know I definitely weigh different than you on a scale, okay? And so these are three different side lengths, okay? Isosceles, I always remember sort of the eyeball, okay? If you draw an isosceles triangle, so try to draw what I have here. I always draw two eyeballs here and here, okay? Remember isosceles, two eyes. That means two congruent sides. Okay, two sides are equal, and the one side is not. And then equilateral is, and lateral means sides. It just means equal sides. So three congruent sides, all sides are the same. All right, so if we classify each of these triangles, let's take a look at it. First, we're going to look at the angles. Because we see a right angle, it is automatically a right triangle. Okay, now let's look at the side lengths. These tick marks say that these are the same size. Since we have two of them, that's like two eyeballs. Okay, and so that is the ISOSCELES. So right isosceles triangle. Okay, so that's the double name based on angles and sides. Let's take a look at this one. Right away, I can see this obtuse angle, which instantly makes it an obtuse triangle. Even though we see these acute angles here, it doesn't matter. Acute triangles are three acute. As soon as you see obtuse, you know it's an obtuse triangle. Okay, so that's based on angles. Let's look at sides now. Okay, if we look at lengths, it looks like this one is small, this one's like medium, and this one's big. Okay, and so we have three different sides. So just like we all weigh different on a scale, we have scalene triangle. Okay, so obtuse scalene triangle. So that's how we would do that. Let's try freehand drawing these. And so it says make an obtuse scalene triangle. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to start by doing the obtuse angle. And so draw a straight line. Okay, hold your pen down so it makes it really straight. And then from here, we know 90 is straight up and down, so we need to go a little bit bigger than that. Okay, so I'm going to go to here because I also know that I have to do a scalene. And a scalene means all three sides are different lengths. So I sort of have a small side, a medium side, and now here's my big side. Okay, and then just hold it down, and then you can adjust. And there we go. Okay, and then I'm going to do the arc for the obtuse angle, and let's go ahead and now we can make it a little bit bigger here. Okay, all right, so that's how we're going to do that and represent that. Let's go ahead and do our right isosceles. So when we're looking at this, we're talking about a right angle, and then the isosceles, two sides are the same. Okay, so we're going to go straight up and down, lock that in. Okay, now I need this to be the same size. So what you can do is come out from here, let it lock in, and then that allows you to sort of get the same size and try to bring that down the best you can. There we go, and it locks in at a nice angle there. And then all we have to do is connect the two dots. Uh-oh, I messed that up. I got to restart the drawing. And then hold it down, and then it'll allow you to lock it in there. Okay, so let's put your right angle first, and then we'll make the mark to say that those two are congruent. Okay, and that's drawing the tick marks on the two congruent segments, and it says that those two are congruent, and then the hypotenuse, this one, is a little bit larger. Okay, so there we go. All right, let's do a little bit more freehand. So it says draw a triangle with one obtuse and no congruent. Okay, well, no congruent means scalene, right? Okay, so let's take a look at this. It says classify the triangle by its sides and angles, then determine if these characteristics create a unique triangle or more than one triangle. Okay, so let's see what it says. Okay, so first of all, let's go ahead and draw this. So one obtuse. So we've done this before, actually. It's sort of silly that they're having us do it again. So I'll make this one just that long, I guess. Remember, we're not doing 90. We're doing bigger than 90. So let's go ahead and go this way a little bit. And then no congruent. So I need a small, a medium, and then this will be my really big. So start at one point, just get your line straightened, and then it'll allow you to lock it in. And there we go. Okay. And there's my obtuse arc. All right, so I drew the one obtuse and no congruent. Classify the triangle by its sides and angles. So we can say obtuse, scalene. Okay, I don't know why they would have us do the same one that we just drew. That doesn't really make sense, but whatever. Triangle. Okay, and then it says determine if these characteristics create a unique triangle or more than one. And it says down here, if we look, it says if the triangle is facing a different way or turned, it does not create a new triangle. You can draw a different triangle with the same characteristics by drawing an angle with a different measure, but still obtuse. Okay, the sides can be many different lengths as long as they're not congruent. So these characteristics create more than one triangle. So basically they're saying, with those rules, can you create other triangles? Yeah, we can make them different sizes, different obtuse, angle, that kind of thing. Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and do this one. Okay, a right triangle and two congruent sides. So basically, we have a right triangle and two congruent sides. So again, they're having us draw the same dang thing, but go ahead and give it a shot and see how you do. If you want to pause it or just keep it running, we can build this one again to just get some more practice. Okay, this might be a good time for you, though. They have to be congruent. So I'm going to bring something else in to show you. So up in your toolbar, okay, you have this ruler. And so this will be a good time for me to show you this. And then one of the things is if you go back here and click your cog in the top left under the time there for mine, you'll see all these tabs here. And if you go to document, there's ruler units, okay? And I want you to click that and make sure you're on metric, okay? And then go back, hit close, and open up your node again, okay? So let's go ahead and build this, but we're gonna do it with using the ruler. So I'm gonna click the ruler. You can see it's in centimeters now. This left triangle, grab that and put it right on 0. And grab the right one and let's just go to 4. We'll do 4 centimeters. So bring it down a little bit here. And what you want to do is you're going to take your finger sort of where the 2 is, in between the triangles, and you're going to give a double tap with your finger, okay? And it made that exact 4 centimeter line, okay? So now what we can do is we can take the ruler, okay, and you can actually take it with 2 fingers and rotate it, and you can see we can actually rotate it and it'll show us a perfect 90 degrees, okay? And so I'm going to turn this until it's exactly 90. Let's see, 2 fingers on it, there we go. And then if I just use 1 finger, it won't change that angle. And then I'm going to take those triangles that I did before and line them right up on the vertex of this line, and I'm going to do the same thing and do a double tap, okay? Or actually another thing you can do is you can take your finger or your pen, and it'll automatically draw, if you put it sort of close, it'll draw it right on the ruler. So it's a pretty cool thing for you to try out there too. So that's another option for you. But now we know we have exactly 2 congruent sides. And then what we can do is you can put your ruler right here, okay? And same thing, I can take my pen and put it right on there and connect those dots. And you can see it almost snaps in. And then we can actually measure and see what it is. So it goes from 0 to 5.5. So in centimeters, we count the 5, and then we go 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.5, 0.6, okay? So we have 5.6 centimeters in length there, okay? So this is sort of neat to actually be able to write. We know for certain this is 4 centimeters, this is 4 centimeters, and this is 5.6 centimeters. And so I have a right angle here, and then I can put a tick mark here and here to show those are congruent. And then to get rid of your ruler, you just take and you pinch your fingers together on the ruler, okay, and it'll disappear for you, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and classify this particular triangle. So this is our right. We're going to say the angle name first, and then we have 2 sides, so that's like eyeballs, isosceles, ISO, SCELES, okay? So we have a right isosceles triangle. Is it possible to draw a different triangle with those same characteristics? If so, explain. Well, yeah, we could just do more than 4 centimeters, right? We could do 5 centimeters and 5 centimeters, okay? So yes, we can make the 2 lengths longer or shorter, really, right? Okay. All right. So now let's go and continue using some other tools here. So what I've done is I attached a protractor, and so you can either tap it, or sometimes you have better luck hitting the text box and then tapping it. It just depends on you and whether you're using a stylus or what's going on. If you can't tap it at all with anything you do, I would back out, go back in. Okay. All right. So a couple things with this. I'm just touching the center of it right here. You could grab the corners and make it bigger or smaller. You can grab this black piece right there, and this is what will rotate it, and then it'll snap to level again. Okay. So you have a couple ways to move that around. Okay. You probably haven't done a protractor since maybe 4th grade. I don't know. So this will be a good review for you. Okay. All right. So we need to draw a triangle that has a 90-degree angle and a side that measures 5 centimeters. So let's start with the 5 centimeter side. So let's grab our ruler and put your left triangle at 0 and your right one at 5. And all we have to do, remember, is double tap between those. Tap, tap. And there we go. And then I can shrink this sucker up and completely make it go away. Let's review how to do a protractor. So a protractor, you have the crosshairs right here, and you have the 0 right here, okay? And so these are the 2 things that you have to be aware of. The crosshairs go on the vertex, or sort of the corner of your angle. And then you always want to put the 0 on the line, okay? And then you can look at what you're measuring or what you're trying to do. Notice that on a protractor, okay, it starts on 0 here, but it also starts on 0 over here, okay? So wherever you're measuring, always start at 0, and I always count up from there, okay, or count up from there. Don't just go to where the line is, because then you can actually forget which number you're using. So always find 0 and count from there. All right, so we could use the protractor, okay, and I could put the crosshair. Look how it helps line it up too. It like locks it in, which is cool. Put the crosshair on the vertex and make sure 0's on the line. And then you can see where 90 is. So I could put a little like dot there, and then I could move this out of the way, and we could make my straight line, and there we go. Okay, so I have a perfect 90-degree angle and a side that measures 5 centimeters. So show your 90-degree angle with the box, okay, and then we just have to connect your 2 dots. Okay, so I'm going to just hold it. There we go. Now I have a straight line to work with, and it'll snap in there. Okay, so that's one way of doing that. Another you might have seen is the ruler. Remember before we can actually turn it, and we could have made the 90 that way and drew some sort of line or double tapped. So you have a couple options. Okay. All right, let's go ahead though and label this side as the 5 centimeters so that we have that recorded. Okay. All right, so next one, let's try this one. Draw a triangle that has a 120-degree angle and sides that measure 7 centimeters and 9 centimeters. So let's get our ruler out first. Okay. And we have 7 centimeters. So I'm going to go to there. Make it start really low here. Let's do a double tap. Okay. So there's my 7 centimeters, and we might as well measure that or record that, label that. And then I need to do 9 centimeters, but I need to do a 120-degree angle. Be careful with the ruler because the ruler, you can see it doesn't go both ways very easily. So if I go like this, it works great on the left side of angles. It doesn't work great on the right side of angles, like going this way. You can see if I go up a little bit, like this amount is not 166 degrees, but it works really well going to the right. Okay, so if I want to do a 120-degree angle, this is 10 and so on. And so always focus on what makes sense, and then I can keep spinning it around and go all the way to 120. So there's 120, and now I can freely with one finger move this around. So I'm going to put this right on the vertex there. And then let's go ahead and create the 9 centimeters. So the 9 centimeters is going to be pretty big going into this other space here. Okay. Now, here's the thing. Has a 120-degree angle and sides that measure 7 centimeters and 9 centimeters. My 120 could go all the way there, and I could double tap. Okay. And I could label this 9 cm, and then I could connect my dots, right? So all the way down, I'm just going to make the line snap, and there we go. So there's one option for us, okay? That's me assuming that I want to put my 120 right there, okay? But we could create this in a different way, right? My 120 could be here instead, okay? And it could go out the other way, okay? But for now, I'll go ahead and redo what we had. Oh no, I don't think I can redo my redo. Darn it. All right, so let me rebuild that real quick. All right, back to 120. Where are you? Right there. All right, 120. Get my 9 back. Okay, 0 all the way to 9, and double tap. Go away, ruler, and here we go. Straight line, lock it in, there we go. All right, so 9 cm, label our obtuse, and actually we can label this 120 degrees so we have it. So that's what I'd like to see for you on there, okay? Grab your protractor, let's bring this down. Oh man, what a mess I'm making. I guess we learned you don't want to draw on top of your protractor, otherwise it moves that shape also. So somehow I need to undo this. So maybe I'm probably going to have to get rid of that. Okay, so let's move this out of the way, move down here, and let's just pretend I didn't mess up here and have to create this for the like 5th time today. There's my 120. Put it right at 0. Okay, and I'm going to go 9. So I'm just going to, oh, I'm on eraser. Jeez. There we go. There's my things. Okay, so that's good to know. If it's on eraser, it doesn't show. Okay, so there's that. Let's connect these. And I'm just going to draw the line. Here we go. All right, moving on. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see. Example 2, use a ruler and a protractor to determine whether or not it is possible to draw a triangle with a 45, a 60, and a 75. First thing we want to do is let's be smart here. 45 plus 60 plus 75, that equals 180. So you already know the answer to that, right? What is it? The answer is yes, okay? But let's go ahead and do it, okay? We can do any size we want, okay? So it doesn't really matter. I don't need the ruler to pull this off, okay? But I'm going to start off with it anyway just because it's nice and I like it. So let's go ahead and build this. Why don't we keep it pretty small? So I'm just going to do 4 centimeters and do a double tap here, okay? And then I need a 45-degree angle. So let's use the ruler for this first one because it's pretty nice and easy. So 45 is right there. Okay, and then let's double tap. Okay, and then we need to go ahead and make and look at that, you can even tap the line and adjust it a little bit. The problem is then I lost my angle, so I got to be careful about that. So let me just back that up there. And then the last one has to be a 60. Oh, wait, let's see. So we did 45, and then we need to do a 60 and a 75. So I can't use this easily anymore. Okay, so I'm going to have to go to the protractor, so let's do a review on this. Okay, so remember what I told you. You have to put the crosshairs on the vertex like that, okay? And then you have to put the 0 on the line. So the biggest thing for right now is lining this up with the 0, okay? So it's got to go right there, okay? All right, so you line the 0 up on the line, okay? And then I'm actually going to I'm spinning my iPad. You can't see me spinning it, but I'm spinning it so that the bottom is here, and I'm looking, so I'm sitting right here looking at the bottom. So I pretty much spun my iPad around, okay? All right, so now let's go ahead and look, and we need to create a 60-degree angle, okay? And so I'm going to start at 0, and I'm going to count up. I'm going to undo because I don't want to write on top of my protractor. So I'm going to count up 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and 60 is right here, okay? And so now I'm going to move my protractor. I'm spinning my iPad back around. I'm going to move my protractor out of the way. Oh, dang it. See, it's not as easy as you think here. Let me hit undo here. I got to make my mark a little further down here. All right, so there's my 60, okay? And now I'm going to go ahead and from the 60 mark, I'm going to draw my line, okay, to that point. Okay, so there's my 60 degree. And then the last one should be 70. So let's go ahead and check. Okay, so we're going to rotate it, or 75. So let's go ahead and look. We're going to put it right on the line. So I have the crosshairs on the vertex, the 0's on the line, okay? And look at that, okay? When you look, start at 0, and you go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Oh, sorry, no, we're not going that way. Because do you see how there's no line here? So we're starting at 0 where it's on the line, and we're going 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 75. Okay, so we have a 75-degree angle right there. So that's perfect. Okay, so let's go ahead and label these. So this one is 45 degrees. This one's 60 degrees. And this is 75 degrees. Okay, and there we go. Okay, we created our triangle, and don't worry about those extensions. We just have our draft right there. We created our triangle, and that's fine that we have some lines extending out. Okay, all right, so there we go. So let's try this one here. Steal our protractor from above and bring it down. Okay, it says use a ruler and a protractor to determine if it's possible to draw a triangle with a 32-degree angle, an 82-degree angle, and a 67-degree angle. So let's go ahead and try that out. You can see this isn't easy to manipulate, move around. Even me, I'm making little mistakes, but we're pulling it off here. So I'm going to grab my ruler, start off with just like a 4-centimeter line here. So I'm going to start really low. Double tap. There we go. Let's get the 32-degree angle first, because I know this one's easy to just use the ruler. So there's 32. Okay, so I'm going to put that right on the vertex there, and we'll double tap this. It looks a little tight already. Okay, and then I'm going to pinch my ruler to make this go away. Okay, and now I need to do an 82-degree angle. Okay, so again, what we're going to do is we're going to rotate this around so that it's going to sit on the line. Okay, and you got to put it right on the line on that vertex and on 0. Okay, and then I'm going to spin my iPad around so you can't see, but I'm rotating it upside down almost. Okay, and I'm looking from this angle right here now. Okay, all right, so look at where the line is sitting on 0. Is it over here? No, it's over here. Okay, so this is where we're starting at. Okay, and we need to count till we get to 82. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, and then go out to here. 1, 2. So we're going to be right here. Okay, but I got to get all that drawing off of the protractor because you know that screws it up. So now I got to look with my eyeballs out to 80 and over 2 notches, so it looks like we're about there. And I'm going to move my protractor out of the way. I'm going to go ahead and draw my line. Okay, and I'm going to connect it. Okay, so there we go. So there's that. Okay. And then I just need to extend my other one out a little bit here. Okay, so that it overlaps. All right, so let's go ahead and do some labeling. I'm going to lasso this and make it a little bit bigger if I can, so that we can work with it a little bit better. So let's go ahead and start labeling things. So this is 32 degrees. This one is 82 degrees, and then this last one has to be 67 to work. Okay, so let's go to our calculator. 32 plus 82 is 114. Okay, so 180 minus 114 is 66. Okay, so if we look at this, 32 plus 82 plus 67 equals 181. And how many degrees are in a triangle? 180. So we already know this is not going to work, but let's sort of see what the angle is. So grab your protractor, rotate it, okay? Put it right on put the crosshairs right on the vertex and the 0 line on the 0, and let's see what it reads. So starting over here at 0, count up the black. So you can see we go to, it looks like 60, right at that, like 65, 66, which would make sense. Okay, but it's definitely not on 67. Okay, and so, oops, let me undo my writing before I move it. Okay, and so this does not work. It's probably, yeah, it looks like it is a 66-degree angle. Okay, and that's what makes 180 degrees. So if it's possible, draw it. If not, explain why. No, comma, because 32 plus 82 plus 67, we can say does not equal 180. Okay? All right, but it's good to draw it anyway to see. All right, let's go ahead and move down here. So drawing a couple more, and then we're done. So last two. Use a ruler and protractor to determine whether or not it's possible to draw a triangle with a 63-degree angle, a 127-degree angle, and a side of 4 centimeters between the two. So let's go ahead and try it on. We need the 4 centimeters, so let's grab your ruler first. Okay. And here we go, double tap. So there's that. We can definitely do the 63, right, by going this way. There's my 63, so now I can just freely move it here. Okay, I'm going to double tap. And then let's go ahead and we'll make this go bye-bye. So this here, let's label it here 63 degrees. And this other one has to be 127. So now I can bring down my protractor here. Okay, and we're going to put the crosshairs on the vertex right there. It lines up perfectly. All right, now we're going to look where the line is touching 0. It's over here. And we're going to follow the black, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and we're going all the way to 127. So 5, 6, 7, so like right here, okay? And so if I move my protractor out of the way now, since I obviously did not write it far enough out, let me hit erase here. 125, 26, 27, maybe that's far enough out now. There we go, yep. All right, so here's my point, straight line, and there we go. So this here is 127 degrees. And so the question here is, can you make a triangle with a 63-degree angle and a 127-degree angle? And what's your answer? Well, I think the answer is no. And so if you looked at these, would these, if we turn these into rays, would they ever cross? No, they never would, because 127 is going to the right, and 63 is not ever approaching that. And so that'll never work, okay? Let's add up 127 plus 63. Look at that, it already equals 190 degrees, and so that's not possible to make a triangle. Okay, so there you go. If it's greater than 180, now you can see what it looks like. All right, let's move this down here. Go ahead and try this one. If you want to pause, you can, or just follow along. It says, is it possible to draw a triangle with a 30-degree, a 60-degree, and a side that measures 7 centimeters? So think about that. 60 plus 30 is 90. Okay, so should that work for a triangle? It should work because we can have a 30, a 60, and then it's automatically going to make the other angle to make 180 degrees. But let's go ahead and draw that. Now we need the 7 centimeters, so grab your ruler. We'll go down here, put it at the 0 and the 7. Sort of fun to be able to mess with these tools. Never done them before. Okay, double tap. And then we can do the 30-degree angle first. So right there's 30. I'll put it right on there. I feel like, maybe I'll make it a little smaller. I'll go 6 centimeters. So there you go, double tapped. And then let's see, maybe let's make the ruler go bye-bye. It says a triangle with 30-degree angle, 60-degree angle, and a side. It doesn't matter where the 60-degree angle is. I'll go ahead and do it right here. So let me put this right on the 0 mark. It's snapping a little bit weird, but it'll be close enough for us, I think. I can't get it exact, but it'll be pretty close. So you can actually see if we start at the 0 here and go up, do you see where it is going to connect? It's going to connect right at 60. So we actually know that this, if we go from here, oops, sorry, I'm on the eraser. If we go from here, this point down, I'm going to lock it in here. There we go. So we actually know now that this is 60 degrees. This is 30 degrees, and what should the other be? Well, we're at 30. 60 plus 30 is 90, and we need 180. 180 minus 90, that last one should be 90 degrees. And doesn't that look like a right triangle or a right angle? Absolutely. So we have 90 degrees here, and those 3 internal angles equal 180. Okay, so yes, we can pull it off. Okay, all right. Let's go ahead and grab this and move it down, or you can copy and paste it. I'm just going to drag it down with my finger so I have it down here for the homework. All right, so here's your practice homework. Number 1, draw a triangle with 3 acute angles and 2 congruent sides. Classify the triangle. Okay, so they don't need to be any specific acute angle, so you don't need to use the protractor. This is just free drawing. Okay, so free draw number 1. And just make sure those are true, and then make sure that you classify the triangle. All right, number 2, draw a triangle with 1 right and 2 congruent, and then classify. Okay, so make sure you also classify, and you're going to free draw number 2 as well. Now we get to 3 and 4. It says use a ruler and a protractor and determine if it's possible to draw those certain triangles. You can go ahead and use your understanding of that triangle sum theorem, which just says that the 3 internal angles have to equal 180. And if they're not going to equal 180, then you can just say, no, it won't work because they won't add up to 180. But if you know that it will, go ahead and draw those using the ruler, protractor methods that we did in example 2 and 3 above. All right. Example 5 here says use a ruler and protractor. Determine whether it's possible to draw a triangle with 75-degree angle and 115-degree angle and a side of 4 centimeters. So again, you're going to take your ruler here, go to 4 centimeters, double tap, and you can build from there. Okay. All right. Number 9 and 10 are quick, simple ones. It says solve the equation. Here's some different trails and triangular images, and you have these 3 internal angles. They just want you to solve for x. And because you know that the 3 angles need to add up to 180, those are going to be real quick, easy equations for you. They even give you the starting equation. Okay, so solve for x, and then you're all set. Okay, good luck. Have fun playing with those tools.